So I told a lot of people that it would be 3:30 Chicago Central Standard Time when you would see me today, but had a little technical difficulties, and I realized, and this is just being real, this is keeping it real, and this is also the joy of digital platforms. I realized that so earlier this week, I've been on a 3-day detox. Yesterday ended that detox. Last night ended that detox. And today I woke up and I've been trying to think about how I would break back into eating food again, but I didn't want to, start back with processed foods and meats and all these other things. So I'm thinking about what. So all day, up until about 30 minutes ago, all I had was oatmeal and tea. Tea out of my Move Beyond the Black glass here, my mug. But that's all I had eaten. So I would have jumped on this thing live and not taken care of my temple. And that's a no no. We're not doing that in 2021. We are honoring our bodies, honoring our life. And if that means that the people must wait a little while, I'm sure you all would want me at my best. I'm sure you would want me nourished and fueled and coming to you with energy and great thoughts. So that was delay. Hello, if you don't know who I am Lakeisha Gray-Sewell. I am an author. I am a empowerment coach. I am a motivational speaker. I am the founder and executive director of Girls Like Me, which is a global non-for-profit which works in media literacy and digital storytelling for Black girls. Above all, I am an unapologetic champion of Black women and girls. And this whole my company, Move Beyond the Block Media, the one thing at the forefront of that is to ensure that I coach brilliant women to come out of the shadows and into the shine that they deserve in life. And so I'm welcoming you to this conversation. So if you are watching, will you do me a favor quickly? If you are watching, please do a quick favor, and that is to show some love, say hello to me in the comments. Let me know you're watching and on what platform you're watching. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. And then after you do that, please, if you know of a woman who is brilliant, if you know of a woman who has an amazing story that the world needs to hear from, but who she's the best kept secret right now. I want you to share this page, tag her, share the page with her, send it to a text, send it through a chat, however you got to get it to her, get it to her. If you yourself have either been on Clubhouse or heard about Clubhouse, wondering what's the big deal about Clubhouse, this is also for you. So everybody, please come into the room and join me. Oh, I see a lot of y'all are tuned in. Wow. So this is the funny thing. I can only see if I'm on Facebook. I can't see from here. And I see my mama is on here. Hey mama. How come I can't see the comments? Well, I have my phone here, so I'll be checking my phone to say hi to you all. If I don't, hang on, I'll get to it really, really soon. I also wanted to just thank my coach and my mentor who shared me with her audience today. She trusted me and entrusted me with her audience today. Monique Carradine of Systenomics and Inner Millionaire. I had a wonderful time this morning with her and talking about a program that I have coming up. But what I wanted to talk to you all about today is there has been a lot of talk about this app called Clubhouse. And this app, Clubhouse, I want to bring up a conversation that has started. So this app had been getting a lot of buzz. First of all, a lot of people have been using it. It launched probably in 2020, at the beginning of 2020, around February of January of 2020. And it really started, as things do, it started to get its buzz later. It made its way into, it started in the tech community and in the tech community. and the I guess not necessarily, yeah, I guess tech community. It started there in the digital community and social impact community, and it's grown now. So it's grown to artists are using it, social people in the social sector are using it, educators are using it. Oh gosh, so many people, students are using it. It's just as in the hands of everybody now with over 1 million users. It is very popular and it's worth $1 billion. And everybody is on here. Um, and so it's just a platform that you just go on to, and you're basically talking, you're holding these conversations, or you're listening into conversations. And the conversations can be, they can run from talking about how to start up a tech and make $1 million. Millionaires are on there. Damon Johns is on there. Uh, Elon Musk is on there. Oh boy, so many people who are known millionaires, who are self-starting entrepreneurs. Some are tech stars. It's a place that any information you want, you can have. There are also just regular conversations and debates and critical thought, critical theory conversations around Judas and the Messiah, the movie that just came out this weekend about the assassination of Chairman Fred Hampton, and the FBI's implication and William O'Neill's implication. Conversations could be about your favorite color. It can be a slew of things, right? The point is, it's a popular app. Only Apple users. So sorry if you don't have Apple. If you're not about the Apple life, you can't really get on yet. But it's just a place to be. So around about, I'd say, July, August, a lot more people who were just like everyday people, not in the millionaire club, obviously, but people, the social sector started to get in it. It became more popular. So you start hearing about it on Facebook. That's like the most common social space. So now the conversation had reached Facebook. And obviously, once you get there, a lot of people like to, well, let me back up. Let me not even start there. Let me just say what Master P has shared. Let me go back to the type of rooms that you're in when you're in here. So people are sharing, they are giving, they are exchanging information. You can go on there and people are talking. And I mean, it's like sitting, it's almost like when you watch the YouTube videos or a TED Talk, it's the same exact thing like a TED Talk, right? And so, a lot, as you know, the world does not move without Black people, and Black people are on there killing the game, sharing empowering information, sharing transformational information, inspiring information, also pitching their businesses, hiring, getting hired, contracting, getting contracting, all types of things, right? But Master P came out and he said, we need to create stuff like that to where we control the narrative and we're able to put the money back in our community and our culture. He's speaking of specifically about Clubhouse being worth $1 billion. We need to create stuff like that to where we control the narrative and where we're able to put the money back in our community and our culture. Now, I am not one who will argue that point at all. Everybody knows that I am a foremost advocate of owning our narrative, owning where we place it, owning our media. If it were not for, Ebony Magazine, if it were not for the Chicago Defender, Black America would probably be stagnant. And so I applaud that effort and say yes. But then there were some people who went on to, I guess, add their own projection into Master P's conversation. They were saying they made it to say that you shouldn't use it. They're saying, see, I told you shouldn't use this application because people just on there giving away information. You ain't, you're not making money, or you making folks money, making people rich, and we don't own anything. And I'm looking at the people who are saying this, right? I'm trying to figure out, but here you are on Facebook giving this information. Here you are on Facebook, which is worth more than $1 billion, telling people that they shouldn't be going over to Clubhouse because it's worth $1 billion and it's not owned by Black people. And I'm like, make it make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. Here's what I want to say to you all. In large part, in America, as Black people, we do not own, we don't have a lot of ownership in anything. At the end of the day, because we don't own any large financial institutions, which at the end of the day owns everything, we have very little that we can lay claim to owning that isn't at the end of the day controlled by another level that is not Black. So if we were to operate in a bubble, and y'all know I am the first one all about, I'm all about Black power. I'm all about Kuji Chagalia. I'm all about Ujamaa. I'm all about Ujima. I'm all about the principles of Kwanzaa. Y'all know me, right? And if you don't know me, I am definitely very much a part of all things Kwanzaa. Now, if you are watching me on my personal Ida Maya Ella page, then you won't be able to comment, or I won't be able to see you. So you may want to watch over on the Move Beyond the Block page. At any rate, let me move back to my conversation. So we are in a position where we don't own. So if you were to, let's say, you wanted to buy a house or buy land to develop, not just a house, but development, we don't really own the banks that would undertake large development projects. Many of our homes are not mortgaged by Black banks. So we are essentially feeding a $1 billion enterprise, right? Oh boy, the cars that we drive, they are not manufactured by a Black car manufacturer. GE, I'm sorry, Buick, Chevrolet, Ford, Tesla, BMW. Any car is not made by us. It's not we don't own it, right? When we go to I don't know, you get your mail, or you're ordering these things online, Amazon, and you're placing all these orders and you're spending your money. Amazon is not owned by a Black person. FedEx is not owned by a Black person. You all understand what I'm saying? So much of the business that we give away, that we every day pour into and pay money to do so, is not owned by Black people. Yet here it is, an application where we don't have to pay to use it. It's free. People would decry that. I don't understand it. The conversation was that we're giving away information. I'll tell you that I have not heard anything through Clubhouse that's proprietary. Most of the information, if you Google it, you'll find it. The thing is that people are not in conversations every day that would discuss making $1 million deal. They wouldn't discuss how to invest in stocks. They wouldn't discuss real estate and real estate terminology and where to get started in capital, and they wouldn't normally be in those conversations. It's not proprietary material. It's not something that you're giving away that people can't find anywhere else. And I'm gonna tell you, like a good philosopher I know, Mr. DJ Jazzy Jeff. don't judge me. You go every time I drop a gem, it's probably got some hip hop connotations flowing up on there, some hip hop context to it. But DJ Jazzy Jeff said, "Don't die empty. Don't die with." He used the curse word. Don't die with left in you. Now I know a great prophet, Monroe, Bishop Monroe, also said the same thing before he passed away in the unfortunate plane crash that he passed away in. But the whole point is that you have so much brilliance. You have so much information. Don't hoard it because you're losing a dime. Don't hoard it because you are afraid somebody else is going to use it and capitalize on it. Listen, the brilliance you have cannot be ensconced in any one moment, any one thing. You are so brilliant that every thought produces a new brilliant thought. You have millions of thoughts that are brilliant, millions of ideas that are brilliant. You can for sure afford to give one or two away, right? That is the whole concept of serving. That's the whole concept of charity. That's the whole concept of life. We don't hold things in our hands and hoard it. We give it away, because when we open our hands to give, we open our hands to receive. That is the basis of this conversation. I'm about to take you all on a trip of my journey on Clubhouse and all of the things that I've gotten, all of the beautiful things that have happened to me just as of last night. Woo! 2 things that happened last night just off the strength of Clubhouse. And I'm going to tell you about those things, but I want to first say hello to who is watching, because like I said, I can't really see all of the comments. So I'm going to look now. Like I said, I saw my mama, Stephanie. If y'all see Stephanie Reed Burton, that's my mama. Peggy Riggins. Hey, Peggy. Peggy, you are freaking awesome. I was just talking about you to someone yesterday with all this vaccination, immunization, all of this stuff talking. You are the first person that's on my mind, because Peggy has said, as long as I've known her for the 15, oh my, Peggy, it's been a minute, like close to 11 years. So 11 years I've been knowing Peggy. Peggy's been saying, the pharmacy is your kitchen, or the pharmacy is your refrigerator, or the grocery store. One of them, basically food. So I want to talk to Peggy. I want you on my show because I want you to talk about that. I know you're doing Command the Room. I love it. People need to be in there for that. So y'all check Peggy out for Command the Room, pharmacy, all that. Hey, Peggy Riggins. Peggy's life story is a miracle. So you all should know who she is. History maker, herstory maker from Chicago, one of the top excelling pharmacists from the South, Black pharmacists, Black woman pharmacists from the South side of Chicago. That's a move beyond the Black queen right there. Millie Liggins. Millie Liggins is an agency owner of American Family Insurance. She's actually my representative. So hey to Millie Liggins. Love you. Thank you for watching. Pop, hey Michelle. Poppy is watching. Hello. Nubia. Hey, yoga queen, fitness queen. All things to do with family, fitness, family mindfulness is Nubia Henderson. My big cuz Stephanie Coney Evans, hello. If I didn't say hello to you, it's because and Della, hey Della, educated extraordinaire, professor status type. So if I don't see you, if I'm not saying hello, it simply means I cannot see you. And if you say hello, I will definitely shout you out. So y'all, I told y'all why I think that people who are decrying the use of Clubhouse are full of it, and they need to stop it. But let me tell you why. Let me also point out that all the other ways that we give it away, like we don't own we don't own public school systems, but we send our children there. We give our children to a system that uses them for data, research, all types of things, right? And we rarely ask for a return on our investment. We wait 20 years to see, did it work out? We keep our kids in a public school system to see, well, if they make it through college, then we'll know that it was paying off. Come on, y'all. So, and don't hear what I am saying. I'm not saying to divest from any of these things. What I'm saying is to be wise in your usage of them, but not to say that because you don't own it, you shouldn't use it. What you do is you learn how to, you gotta be, what did Sam Greenlee say? You gotta be the spook who sat by the door. Get up in there, take what you can, and run back and build your own. And I just can't vibe with the people that are, as I said, even coming to Facebook to tell you not to go on another platform you don't own. It just doesn't make sense. And you on Facebook giving away pictures. I mean, they know who your mama, daddy, granddaddy, great granddaddy was, cousins in Mississippi, cousins in Canada, when you went to Jamaica, when you got back from Jamaica, when you've been in Vegas, and what restaurant you ate in Vegas. So I know people not tripping over Clubhouse. We are drinking products and having events and letting events sponsor and put their name on stuff. And folks ain't making no money off that. Maybe one or two people, but the people that's going ain't making no money. So come on, y'all, get off of it. Y'all have to watch the people that advise you against something. People that are advising you against something, if they don't have the alternative to offer you, be very wary. And also watch their track record. What else have they endorsed or not spoken out against? Or whom else? And that will pretty much give you that'll give you some red flags, green flags, or whatever to whether or not you should trust what they are saying. So y'all, let me tell you about my good news off of Clubhouse. I have to go in my phone because I'm a memory girl and I document everything. So I'm going to just walk you through all of the ways that all the days that I've been what do you call it? That I've been on Clubhouse and what it has done for me. And if you are on here, I would love to have some folks in this room because I'll shout them out because they have really been impactful for me. And the beautiful thing is, I think I've done all these things yes. I'm going to share with y'all a powerful night from last night with me and Layla Hathaway, the daughter of Donnie Hathaway. And if you know me, Donnie Hathaway. So that's going to be the topping for you all. I'm going to tell you what happened last night with me and Layla Hathaway on Clubhouse that blew my mind and really just gave me a lifelong lasting experience that I will never forget. But I'll walk you through some of the things that happened to me on Clubhouse. I joined Clubhouse around about it tells you when I joined. I joined early November, and I really wasn't sure exactly how to fit in on Clubhouse. I really wasn't sure what to do. So just got in, and one thing I knew was not to follow the same Facebook friends or even my very close friends. I mean, I was on there for a new experience to broaden my network, to have another network and not the same old network. So even if you my close friends, I may not follow you on Clubhouse, right? And so I'm on Clubhouse, and I don't even remember when I know I was in rooms like about podcasting and how to podcast, because I've been sitting on my dreams of my desires to relaunch a podcast. And I just been, I'm going to get back to this point. I've been afraid to do my podcast. Now, y'all know I've had Voices of Advocacy Radio. I've done a lot of podcasts. I produce people's podcasts. I edit people's. I do all of that. But I have been stagnant in my own, and I'm going to tell you why and how Layla Hathaway reaffirmed something for me last night. So anyway, those were the rooms I was in. I was in getting information and confidence to build my podcast back up, which is dropping in 2 weeks. So y'all stay tuned for that. But I recall this night, I had been getting discouraged, y'all, about some things that were happening with my nonprofit. I was really getting discouraged. And I got into a room where they were talking about your non-for-profit and support or something. I forgot. But if you're on Clubhouse, it's called Studio. And the woman who had hosted this room I'd entered into, she was just going down these list of things. And I think I asked her a question. And I know I made a statement and said, I'm feeling really discouraged because XYZ is happening and this is my experience and I just don't know what to do. And I think that this is just going to just really impact me and just going to be bad all around. And she was like, girl, no, this is what you do. And she gave me, it was what she did for me was the value of at least $500 to $1,000. She gave me a strategy. She gave me explicit guidance and directives to implement, to move beyond the challenge that I was facing. Now, some people may say, oh, that's nothing. But let me tell you something. You go and you try to get into, you go and you try to get a session for free, with someone who is a consultant. You just try to get on their couch, because I'm not talking about, somebody that's just playing at this thing and they just giving advice and opinions. I'm talking about somebody who bills by the hour, who contracts and who get people to pay them for their expertise. You try to sit down with them for free and get them to pick their brain, as they say. It's not going to happen. What she shared with me, I would have literally had to pay for my organization. We would have really had to pay for that, at least $500 to $1,000 to do so. I did not have to do so. I followed everything she said, and every step that she told me corrected itself. Not only that, by talking to her, by being in that room, by talking it out, by releasing my struggle, by releasing my fears, by getting out of my own head, I was able to build up my confidence and raise my vibration. So by the time I got off of the phone with her, and this is not a lie, by the time I got off that app, this was in the evening. It was about 5 o'clock in the evening. I will never forget. I got a call that said, I am calling to let you know that you have been selected by XYZ person to receive a donation in their honor by this foundation. How should we get the funds to you? No lie. And the funds were 5 times the amount of information she just shared with me. Now, you may think that this is nothing, but what I'm trying to tell y'all is it is a big deal. Anybody in business will tell you that it's a big deal. So the next thing I want to say, that was one experience. So now, I had a whole bunch of other experience, but these are the ones that really stick out to me. And I'm going to come right back. Y'all can hear me talking because I'm still talking to you. This was around about Christmas break. I was in Vegas at my sister's home in Vegas. And I happened to be, it was in the morning, when you're in Vegas, you're on Chicago, your body is on Chicago time, but you're in Pacific Coast time, right? So there was this call, a conversation was happening, and it was called Dear Sister. And y'all know, don't say nothing about no sisters because I'm in the room with you. So this is about Dear Sister. And I saw the title and I clicked on the room, and I'm telling you, the voice that was speaking was so spiritual. It was so, it was welcoming. It was a different frequency and a different vibration. And I clicked and I sat and I listened. And I think I was probably like maybe the 5th person to come in the room. And the person said, hello, hi, Lakeisha. And she said my name like she knew me and blah. And the conversation just went into this whole different thing, y'all. And then she said, well, after she finished talking about, I think she was talking about restoration. I forgot the name of it. But anyway, she went on and she said, well, I would like to invite a few of you that I can share about this project I'm doing. It's called Dear Sisters. And this project is a book of letters that we've collected from women who've gathered in these sacred spaces and who've written letters to other Black women. And we've put it into a book and an experience with art. And then we have we have the letter and the affirmation. And I want to just do a personal reading for some of you all that are in the room. And she read to me a letter. She read to me a letter, and then she read to me the affirmation. And the affirmation, I can remember it as it was yesterday. She said, your voice will liberate others, or your love will liberate others. And at the moment, I really needed to hear that because I wasn't feeling very loving. Um, I was not very loving. And when she said that, I said, if my love is liberating, then how dare I not be a reflection of it in the world and not act on that love? Um, and it was so powerful, that conversation. The women in that room, we all bonded, we all supported each other at that moment. We went, bought candles and whatever else. Everybody was. It is not, hear me what I'm saying. It's not that we're in the room to pitch anything or to go in a room hoping somebody will buy something because we're in a room. That is not the authenticity. That I can tell you that you will walk away very frustrated if that is the angle that you're taking. It's just authentic, showing up because something resonates with you, because you feel called or led into a room. So I was led into the room with her, led into the conversation, and the reading that she gave me, I knew it was God. I knew it because of what I was experiencing. So I went in and I said, well, I'm about to go buy your book, right? Now I'm thinking, I'm gonna go buy your book because, book, what is it, $20, $30, No, ma'am. No, sir. The book was a lot more. I said, oh, shoot. I didn't spoke too soon. But Spirit told me, no, mm-mm. You said you was gonna do this thing, and that was God talking. Do it. I did it. I bought the book, and well, let me show you. I bought the book, and when I got home from Vegas a little later, I had this big, beautiful box waiting for me, and inside the box, inside the box was. I've taken some of it out because it was so powerful, so I have to find it. But inside the box was a personalized letter to me, a big poster card letter to me. Love, light, liberation, and truth was written, and there was no cards in here. I only bought the book from her. This tote bag was in it. The hard copy of the book was in it, and 2 paperback copies of this book. The hardback is a coffee table piece, and this is the paperback book. It was wrapped in such beautiful beautiful wrapping, and this is the inside of what it looks like. This book. She gave me this book to share with our girls. She gave me the one I bought, I got, and then I got 2 other books to share with the girls from Girls Like Me. Now the colored back, the hardback book is colored. Like I said, it's colored, glossy, hardback, beautiful, right? That was a genuine connection. I spent money not expecting anything but what I spent money for. And she gave me this. Now, let me tell you, I had no idea who this woman was. Turns out this woman is powerful, and a global movement of women that literally saved us in a time, spiritually fed us in a time of COVID over the summer. This organization, this movement of women, this woman actually facilitates spiritual gatherings and community for that group of women. I had no idea that's who I was talking to. None. And the only way I did is after I made the purchase, after I left that conversation, after I followed her on Instagram, after I followed her on Twitter, and then I Googled her. And that's when I said, well, oh my gosh. Powerful. That's just one. So I gave y'all 2, right? So let me go on. So my other My other one is I'm going back in my pictures, y'all, so I can find out I have all these memories. There's been so much good stuff for me on Clubhouse. I can't stop talking about it. So I showed up in another room. It was picture nonprofit. Or it was just about nonprofits. I don't even remember what the conversation, but it was a social impact and nonprofits. And a young lady was talking about her incubator and all these other things. And I was just sharing, some things that I've experienced as a founder and as an executive director of a nonprofit organization. And the energy just was there. It was just good interactions. And I never went back into that person's room again until this week, Thursday evening. Now, I've been thinking and praying and just meditating on some things. And that morning, I sat on my energy rug that I bought from my friend Serenia Yaris Incorporated, and I sat on my energy rug and I had a long conversation with God. And God said, here's what I want you to do. I said, okay, I will. I don't know how, but I will. And that evening, I got on Clubhouse, and first thing I saw was this pitch, the girls' not-for-profit pitching night that she had told me to join a long time ago that I never did. That was the first thing I saw. I jumped in that room. And it's pitching night, and normally it's the hundreds of people in there, and people are raising their hand, and you may never ever get on stage. And in fact, I think they invite you if they're going to get you on stage, they actually invite you ahead of time. So I just took a chance and raised my hand, and some kind of way I got knocked off the Clubhouse, and I got back on, and I said, let me raise my hand again. I did. They brought me up on stage. You have to pitch your organization, and you have to have an ask and all this other stuff. I've never pitched my organization before. I've never done any pitch competitions or any of that. So I get on, and they call me up. And I'm like, oh God, it just got real. So the whole time I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? You would think that I've never talked about girls like me before in my life. You think that I just made this thing up yesterday because I was blah, 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 blah. Definitely not the articulate, wonderful, brilliant person that I am. I was stuttering and stammering in a ball of nerves. But what I did say is that Girls Like Me Project is a project that focuses on Black girls specifically and helping them to raise up the issue of media literacy and push back against stereotypes and stigma that actually limit their ambitions in life and influences policy and influences public perception, right? And all that in a nutshell. I said something like that, but it was a bunch of rambling, but pretty much that. And I said, this is our ask, and this is what we need. And that person, when I said, this is our ask, and this is what we need, even though it was a pitch and you were supposed, they said, pitch it and give a number. I hadn't given a number. I said, oh my God, I forgot to give a number. And they said, no, that's just in general, but you don't have to. You were very clear in your ask. And she said to me, Lakeisha, I remember you from my other rooms early on in Clubhouse. And I remember your spirit. And I remember how energetic your energy, you're just a vibrant. Now, I've never met this woman a day in my life. She is in Harlem, New York. And she said, her name is Hannah. And she said, your energy on here is just phenomenal. You are a phenomenal spirit. I love your energy. So I'm going to invest in you because I know your cause and I know your heart. I'm going to give it to you. And I just want you to know people don't necessarily invest in people don't necessarily invest in organizations. They invest in the people behind. So I'm like, oh, thank you. And she's like, okay, so we're going to get you some money. She's like, I know a bunch of other people up here got something to give you too. So go ahead. So then I get another man who invests and who helps organization. He's like, listen, this is what I'm going to do for you. Email me, DM me, blah, 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 blah. Next thing I know, I got a DM from him telling me his exact email and link for his calendar to get on his calendar. I'll be meeting with him next week. The things that he's going to help me with, easily $2,000 worth of service. Check this out. Another man is in the room from Chicago. I don't know him, but from Chicago. And he says, listen, all that stuff you said in capacity building, I know I have some friends in my network who have tech companies or who have those type of consultants, and I will make sure that they give it to you pro bono. And pro bono, let me tell you all, if you don't know what it means, Google Taproot. That's one of the ones I know, but Google Taproot and look at any service that they do. And that service, what an organization would typically have to pay about $2,500 at the low end to about $50,000 at the high end. These are the things I was asking for. That man told me that he would invest in not invest money, but he would make the connections to have that for me. Now you may say that's no big deal, but here's the thing. Everybody I've ever made a connect with on Clubhouse, I've followed through on what I've said I would do, and I've reciprocated that as well. Now, this man didn't just say that to me, because we exchanged about 3 or 4. He gave me also his personal email. He also gave me steps to take and a person or a thing to contact and to do and to let him know, and I followed up, and then all these other things. But last night, now that happened on Thursday, last night, the young lady who I told you when I first got on said to me, Lakeisha, I loved your energy way back when you were in my room before. I remember you, blah, 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 blah. Been missing you in these rooms. Last night, I got a cha-ching on my phone to let me know that she had made her donation. Understand that. She had made her donation last night. And it was over $500. Now, you may say $500 is nothing. It wasn't $500, but I'm just saying. With the amount of money she gave me last night, let me tell you what I can do with it. I just hired a intern, a college student intern that can pay her for her services with the amount that she gave me. That can pay for a whole month of her services. The amount she gave me can pay the invoice for our social media person if I wanted to use that for a month worth of our social media person. If I wanted to use it in that way, it could be used for it could pay for our it can pay for utilities, rent. It can pay for at least 5 girls to be served. It could buy equipment for 2 girls. When I say equipment, I mean digital equipment, like a real good digital camera or podcast studio for 2 girls to rent. Clubhouse did that. Do Black people own Clubhouse? Absolutely not. Do Black people have to own Clubhouse for me to get that from Clubhouse? No. I'm not done. And this is why I want to talk to you all about the shining moment, and about when I tell you that you who is listening, when I tell you how important it is for you to use your voice, to show up and to shine, to not sit back and listen to other people, to not sit back and all you do. I'm not telling you not to watch videos of other people, because if I was telling you that, I would be telling you to turn me off, and I don't want you to turn me off. But if all you do is watch my video, and then somebody else's video, and somebody else's video, and somebody else's video, and we never, ever, ever get to watch your video, you are cheating yourself. You're selling yourself out. If you're listening in for nuggets for somebody else, you're listening for the nuggets to help you with your nuggets. So when are you going to shine your nuggets? And here is my ultimate example. Now the rest one of those was monetary. Another one was spiritual. But let me tell you how I know that I'm on purpose in my life, and how it confirmed for me that I should stop, even me, doubting myself and doubting my power and listening to naysayers. Years ago, I got my start. I graduated college 6 months pregnant with my firstborn, my son, Marquise. And my husband and I both majored in communications, radio broadcasting. And my husband, music was his minor, creative writing was mine. And I knew that when I graduated, my mother will tell you, my goal was to work at Essence Magazine and Oprah Winfrey. Those were the two things I wanted to do. And I gave up on that dream because here I was out of college on welfare and not sure of how. So I landed in a classroom. In that classroom, I had a fellow teacher, Deborah. And Deborah had a husband. And it's a shame that I can't remember his name because he was a faithful listener of that station. And he hit me to this station called WVON. And he said, you ought to listen to this station. They be talking about some stuff. And I listened. Matter of fact, I think I was listening because it was a home buyers expo that they had. And I was thinking like it's time for us to get a home, right? So I'm listening for the home buyers. But then I listen because I hear this young Black sister on there and she is sounding like a young Black sister and I'm relating. And at the time, I'm listening for her to come on. And my students are also in class and we're studying the Middle East. We're studying the Middle East. We're studying, for social studies. And her daily conversation at the time, this is the time of the war in Iraq, in the Middle East. This is the big Bush war. And every day there's conversations about it. And then there's conversations about the Roman Catholic Church, because at the time, this is when the very first stories of the priest and their sexual assault allegations had first started coming up. And Monique would have people on to talk about this. And she would also have on who is popular now, who everybody wasn't loving then. They was like, shut up, get him out the room. They don't want to talk to him. The Black elite in Chicago didn't want to talk to him. But this weekend, his name is everywhere. Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. and his father. And those were the conversations every day. And I was listening to the radio and dreaming about, wow, dang, I want to be producing again. I want to be, oh God, I'm going to cry. It's like, I want to be producing. I want to use my degree. I feel so like a failure in this classroom every day. I want to be doing what I was supposed to be doing. I want to use my degree. I don't want to feel like a statistic that I went to college and didn't use my degree and I had a baby and blah, 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 blah. Let me tell y'all, that voice of the woman who was on was Monique Carradine Kitchens. And Monique Carradine Kitchens, she just had a fire. And she wasn't talking about issues in a way that made it as if it was some other world. She gave it a perspective that even though no matter that you were in Chicago or wherever you were, your opinion about it, your perspective mattered, right? And that these things impacted you too. And I was able to give that to my students, even at 11 and 12 years old, to let them know that, listen, you are 11 years old, you are 12 years old, you are on the south side of Chicago, but in the world, you matter. And you have to know what's going on. You have to be connected to what's going on. Global connections. Media, listening, understanding media, breaking down stories. I never knew. Now, I would go on. I invited Monique Carradine into my classroom. I invited her. I'll give some other names of some people I invited. I won't say everybody's name. I'll tell you the two people who showed up. Monique Carradine Kitchens showed up, and Devontae Stone Pony showed up. And some other people I invited, they did not come. But those two did. And Monique said to me, you should come by the station. What you doing? What are you up to? What are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I think I might not be teaching again next year. I think I might. I'm not sure. But my degree is in communications. I'm like, you should come by. Now, before that, Perry Small had also told me, I need you to be producing me, right? Okay, y'all. Fast forward. I did produce Perry Small. I did produce Monique Carradine. This little black girl from the south side of Chicago did use that degree. She did everything she wanted to do. She wrote for magazines. She worked for the editor emeritus of Essence magazine, Miss Susan L. Taylor. She did all of that. Me. Yes, I did those things. Um, but here's the thing. Remember when I was talking about that media, getting the kids to understand all the time that I was rejecting that work, all the time that I was belittling that work and discounting that work. That's the thing that led me to my greatest heights. Connecting. I have a whole program called Global Connections, which took me to Ghana last year, all expenses paid, not by me, but all expenses paid for not just myself, but another board member to go to Ghana and forge a global connection program. Listen, your gift, where you are right now, the circumstance, the condition, I don't care what it is, where you are right now, that is your planting soil. That's your planting soil. And when a seed is planted, it don't just sit there and say, I'm gonna wait until I moved into a big old garden. I'm gonna wait to get out this little bitty pot. That thing starts germinating right where it is. It starts planting its roots right where it is. It starts busting out of that seed right where it is. In the darkness, the seed is still doing what it's supposed to do, growing, expanding. And even in that classroom, in that basement, or that classroom, I didn't even realize it. How media, right? And me following my path and answering my call and using media as the tool would give me the shine that I so desperately wanted. Just to be heard, to be validated, to be valued, to say that my voice makes a difference in this world. So why am I telling y'all this? After I left that station, WVON, in 2006, like I said, I produced for Monique, I produced for Perry Small, I produced for Matt and Perry, I produced for Roland S. Martin. My husband, we had just bought our first home, and my husband had a studio. We're media people, so we had everything we needed. Now this is in 2006, way before podcasting was popular, way before anybody was using digital media the way that it is. I think MP3s had just become a thing. I mean, everybody wasn't even using MP3s. People were still at CDs at this time. So what happened is I said, I want to do independent work. I want to do some independent projects. My professor from college, Miss Judith McCrae, is a Grammy, Emmy award-winning filmmaker, and she had projects. And I was following in her footsteps and trying to reimagine my space, even though I given up my dream of working for Oprah. Maybe I hadn't by that time. I think I still was trying to work for Oprah, but I began to understand that Oprah or no Oprah, essence or no essence, I'm going to write and I'm going to produce and make media. And Nas had a song. Told y'all hip hop was gonna come back in here. I'm gonna say some hellos in a minute. I'm gonna go back on here and try to see who's watching. So make sure you say hello so I can say hi to you and tell you and make sure I acknowledge you. So Nas had made a song. He was going through all of these different icons of ours who had died and the stories behind their deaths, and it was so eerie. And somebody who I loved. I attended Walter H. Dyack Middle School back in 1986 through 1989. And every day we had to recite we had to recite a school creed, and anybody went to Walter H. Diet in 1986 to 1989, Bomani Obadelli knows. We had to recite the school creed, and we had to sing Young, Gifted, and Black. Donny Hathaway. So when Nas talked about Donny Hathaway and he talked about how he died, it piqued something in my interest. And I just started going down this rabbit hole of Donny Hathaway. And this gets me back to Clubhouse. I'm going back, don't worry. And Layla Hathaway last night. So my interest was so piqued by Donny Hathaway, and I started going down this rabbit hole. And I just like, I got to do a tribute. I got to do a tribute to Donny Hathaway. A audio documentary is what it was called at that time. It wasn't no podcast. This is an audio documentary. So I started writing it. I started getting all of the information. And then I'm like, okay, I have to interview people. Who will I interview? I don't know. Who do I interview? Like, okay, who was one of his contemporaries? Like, who was working right beside him? Jerry Butler. Let me get Jerry Butler. Who else could I interview? Oh my gosh, I don't know. Music Soul Child. He's always talking about Donny Hathaway. But Music Soul Child, I don't know nobody to get in touch with no Music Soul Child. How will I even get it? It was no Facebook. Wasn't no way to drop into nobody's DMs back then. This was real producer work. Like, yeah, real producer work. I had to find. But guess what? I got my Music Soul Child interview. He was coming into Chicago to promote his song, his album, the one that's got Buddy on it. I can't remember. I'm a biggest Music Soul Child fan, but it had Buddy on it. And through a connection, I got into the room with. That actually was because of my husband, because he's so amazing and so dope. Flowers Communications was hosting him for something, and my husband made a phone call to that person, and Ron Childs was also involved. So Ron Childs also pulled some strings and got me to the rep, and the rep just happened to be the wife of my husband's mentor, and so it all worked out. And so I was in a room with Music Soul Child, and don't y'all know this dude? Like, I was in that room with him, but they were all in there asking the same old questions about his album, blah, 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 blah. But I was like, listen, I'm here to ask about your album, but I want to know, I'm doing this project for Donny Hathaway, blah, 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 blah. Oh, he shut the whole thing down. They may as well not have been in that room, because me and him was on a vibe. Y'all, it was such a beautiful thing. And it was at the time when you had those little recorders that were like, I had just invested in my Rolling Adderall at the time. And didn't even really know how to doggone use the doggone thing, but that is how I recorded his thing. It was not on my phone, wasn't no Zoom, any of that. So now, who else? Now I interviewed Jerry. My mother-in-law helped me get that, because she was working at the county building at the time, and Jerry Butler was her favorite, the Iceman. So I got my interview with Jerry Butler. I got my interview with Music Soul Child, but who else could I get an interview with that would just make this thing phenomenal? Like, who else could I add? Layla Hathaway. Like, she's alive. She's his daughter. Who else could you possibly want to do this thing? But my God, I don't know Layla. I ain't heard from Layla Hathaway since Heaven. I ain't heard from Layla Hathaway since 1990 when the Tony videos was on BET, right? So who knows, where's Layla Hathaway? What is she doing in 2006, right? Or 7? I don't know. I don't know how. I still to this day don't know how it happened. But what I do know is I got that interview. And Layla Hathaway called me on April 13th, 2007 at 2:00 p.m. Central Standard Time, 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. And I got my interview, and baby girl cried on my interview. She cried at the question. She cried at the thought that somebody was honoring her father. This girl did that. I had my boy, my heart, Matt McGill did the voiceover. That thing rocked. But nobody picked it up. You know, I was trying to pitch it to WBEZ. I was trying to pitch it to WVON for Black Music History Month. I was trying to do all this stuff. Black Music History Month. I was trying to do all this stuff with this piece. Nobody picked it up. I said, okay, I'm going to find a way. I put it on SoundCloud. Again, this was 2007, y'all. This was, nobody was talking about no podcast in 2007. Nobody. I put it on there. At the time, somebody who's a Facebook friend of mine, Adrian, oh God, Adrian, what is your last name? Adrian Kadar Coleman had just, I don't know, Adrian, if you had just got to Vocalo or if you were leaving Vocalo, but anyway, whatever happened, it just did not work out. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit like, dang, you know, maybe, you know, I don't have the connections. I don't have that, you know, and that at that time, my mindset really was like, yeah, you just a girl from the South Side. Ain't nothing really moving for you. Like, go ahead and you know, settle down. You're not gonna, those dreams are not for you to have. Settle down. And so, you know, years would pass and I would post it up on my Facebook page, you know, hey, listen to my Donny Hathaway, listen to my Donny Hathaway tribute, you know, just trying to get people to listen to it on my SoundCloud. Sometimes people listen, sometimes they don't. I don't think it ever got more than 100 listeners to do it. But then other things happened for me career-wise. Like I went to work for one of the national organizations in the world and created their whole YouTube channel, podcasting, everything. Like developed, produced a whole podcast series that they had. This again, early times like 2008, 2009, when things are just starting to happen in the digital space. So I knew is that I've always been ahead of the game. But being ahead is a lonely place. It's a scary place because people are telling you, even people are telling you that, what are you doing? Like nobody gets it. And so you just like, so even my podcast, my first podcast, you know, I would have these conversations, powerful conversations with girls advocates and people who are really making a difference in the world. Like Liz, God, what's his name? Oh God, all these people. You can go back on Voices of Advocacy Radio and listen to the conversations I had, powerful conversations, and they just wouldn't get traction. And that was 2014, and I just said, you know what, I'm gonna stop. I don't know. I just like I'm gonna stop. I let people say, don't nobody want to listen to podcasts. Don't nobody want to do this. I would get on YouTube. I would get on Facebook and go live and people be saying, don't nobody want to listen to nobody going live all in their kitchen and this, that, and the other. And I'd be like, dang. And I have to admit, I let it get to me until I had the epiphany that you are too brilliant to hide, to settle or to hide. And last night, y'all, here's the thing. Last night on Clubhouse, every Friday night, there's this thing called the Flower Bomb Presents. And every Friday night, they do a flower bomb for an artist. They've done it for Jill Scott. They've done it for Eric Roberson, who was in the room when they did it. They've done it for Missy Elliott. They've done it for a lot of people. And last night was Layla's night. So I go in the room, and every time everybody, the artist, you know, the artist most likely won't come in the room. You're just doing this for the love of the artist, not because you think they're in the room or whatever. And when I saw, and I have not been on Clubhouse in weeks. Thursday was the first time I've been on Clubhouse in literally at least 2 weeks. Things are very pressing for me right now. So I didn't really have time to be on there like that. So Thursday night was the first night, and you heard what happened that night. And then last night, and I got in the room early. So I'm like, oh, I'm in the room early. Let me get on stage. So I got on stage, and I was at the top of the stage. Yes. So I'm all ready to, you know, to request my song and just talk about Layla, whatever. So as they're talking, maybe like 10 minutes in the room, somebody's like, Layla's here. What? Layla's here. So Layla's on the stage and Layla's talking, so oh, thank y'all so much for doing this, blah, 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 blah. Now, sad thing is Layla requested the song I was going to request before they got to me. But that's a good thing too. So we groove into this song, which is for me was I'm Coming Back. Check that song out if you I'm Coming Back by Layla Hathaway. So we grooving, everybody's telling their stories. She's talking back to the people. She's giving some insight, like behind the scenes stuff, behind, things that were happening to her career over time. And oddly enough, everything I'm saying to you about my career, she was experiencing too, minus the kids and being pregnant. But she was experiencing all these things along the way, being, ahead of her time, being different, not fitting into the mold of traditional things, right? So finally, y'all, my time comes. Oh, that's a moment. Finally, my time comes. I'm gonna have to talk about that, but seriously, finally, my time comes, and I request my song. Since she had already requested, I gave the request my daughter told me to ask for, and that was Small on My Back. That's another Layla. So I requested Small on My Back, and she's like, yes! Because she's like, y'all playing all the songs that they're going to play at my funeral. She don't like slow songs, obviously, even though she sing the hell out of them. So I requested Small on My Back, which is sensual, a groove. It's a groove, right? So I say, I'm requesting that, but as you cue it up, let me say this to you, Layla. And I know it's going to sound really kind of stalkerish. And everybody's like, oh, God, what is she for to say? Even Layla's like, oh. And I share with her my story about her doing an interview for me. That, this was before she didn't know who I was. I wasn't saying, hey, I'm calling you. Well, I'm reaching out to do a story for Essence Magazine, or I'm reaching out to do a story for Oprah. I didn't have anybody's big name attached to me. It was only me saying that, hey, I'm just a girl from Chicago doing this audio project, and I would love for you to speak about it, about your dad. And she says, I absolutely remember that. And I'm so grateful that you did. So grateful that you did that. And I thank you so much. Now, why am I crying? Is it because Layla Hathaway said that? Well, yeah. It's also what God said to me. And what God said to me is, no man has the power to call you or to deny you or grant you what I have already given you. No man, no human has the authority to approve you for what I've already approved you for. Nobody has the light for you to shine that is greater than the light that I've instilled in you. So if you are watching this and you are waiting for somebody else to give you permission, if you're waiting for somebody else to recognize you, if you're waiting for someone else to give you a platform or stage, if you are waiting for someone else to say to you that you are worthy, I want to offer you an opportunity, an invitation for you to give yourself permission, to say yes to the permission God has already given you. Walk in your own light. He has provided for you everything you need. The only thing you need to do is to move out of the way. Stop blocking your own shine. Stop blocking your own shine. Stop blocking opportunities. Stop blocking yourself from audiences that can't see you because you are hiding in the shadows and hiding behind somebody else. And you're over here on the sidelines cheering for everybody else. And that's a beautiful thing. Everybody needs a cheerleader. Every one of us. But nobody needs a cheerleader. Needs you to cheer for them louder than you cheer for yourself. So I am saying to you, as I sip tea from my Move Beyond the Block mug, because I've been talking for a minute, my throat's kind of parched. And as I show you my book, I could rattle off a million things on my resume. I don't need to do it. But what I can tell you is every single time I push past what people have told me. In college, somebody said, my professor literally said to me, nobody wants to hear your story unless you're famous. Nobody will read a book about you or anybody else unless you're famous or celebrity or something. Well, this book printed by WDB Marketing, and I have receipts for it. This book is on its third printing. It's sold out 3 times. It's on its third printing. Understand me when I tell you, I'm not exaggerating to you. What you have is a gift. And I was just on earlier today with my coach, Monique Caradine Kitchens. I told you about her earlier. I produced for her on WVON. And she allowed me to, come on her, share with her audience today. But we were talking about this whole thing about when you are silent, people are suffering because of your silence. I think I saw someone here, Sandria Washington, who is so powerful. Like I said, y'all, if y'all watching, say hello, because for some reason I can't see your comments, and I really want to acknowledge you and show you love and support. I thank you for being on. But Sandria, oh my God, Sandria is just a beautiful human. She's just exquisite to look at. Like she's like a flamingo. And Sandria has been a part of so many different things. Her layers are just, she's so layered. But the latest layer that she's uncovered is her adoption journey. And she started a podcast. She started all these different things. And in sharing her journey, so many other people who are dealing with adoption in different ways, right? Whether they are adoptor, that they've adopted someone, and the connection that they made with their child, whether they are adopted, and all of the things that the emotions that they have to go through and processing that information, how they were told, when they were told, who told them, all these different things. Do they know their birth parents? Do they know, like all of these different things? Her, just by sharing her story of adoption, she's freed so many other people to step up and talk about their journey, to reconnect with their family. So let me say this to you all. Stop playing small. Stop hiding. Stop being invisible. Share your story. You deserve it. And stop shying away from opportunities to share your story because you don't see a financial benefit. You don't see you don't see the quick get rich quick scheme of it. Share your story because of all those things. I wasn't expecting money for anything. Do we want to be paid? Absolutely. But the beautiful thing is when you tell your story, there are riches unfolding for you you would never imagine beyond. If you think you're going to make $10,000 off your story, God is saying, you thinking too small. I'm going to give you $100,000 contract. I'm going to give you $100,000 corporate sponsor. You don't know. Stop limiting. Stop saying this is why you're going to do it. Do it because the story will free someone else. Do it because the story will serve humanity. And that's all, y'all. I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you for watching with me. Thank you for showing your love. I'm going to say hey to some people I saw. I saw my coach chime in. I don't know if you still here, Mo, but hey, and thank you. Today has been powerful. Thank you, Robin Anderson, for tuning in. Again, Peggy Riggins, I just love you. Cheryl, who is a boss fitness coach, is on. My sis and board member, Octavia Daniels is on. I don't know. Again, I can't see everybody, but I just want to say my girl Celia Cologne. Oh my God, my warrior sister, my Armana, who is just amazing and awesome and shining even through tragedy of her sister who was taken from her due to gun violence and evilness just this past winter, just the last month, November, Thanksgiving, her babies had to go without their mom. um so I want to say hi and thank you for tuning in, sis, and thank everybody. If this has touched you in any way, just comment blockbuster. If this has moved you beyond any mental block, if you want to move forward, put blockbuster in there. If you know your story is worthy to be told, worthy to be listened to, if you know you are worthy, I want you to go over to shadow into shine. I want you to go and head over to Shadow into Shine. And I invite you to spend a day with me. All of the different things I talked about, I'm going to be teaching and leading a day where I take people through a full day to recognize their digital superpower, whatever that is for you, wherever you shine naturally on a digital platform, whether that's YouTube or videos, whether that's podcasting, whether that's just making content for an e-course. If that is whatever it is, we're going to find out what works best for you, your voice, your story. We're also going to help you get to your core message of your story, right? And when I say core message, I mean, obviously all of us have a story, all of us have a message, but what's your core message? So whether you are someone who bakes cakes, right? You're great at baking. Well, you're not just a baker or someone who bakes cakes. You may bake cakes so that you bake cakes to really enhance the celebrations of life experiences and life milestones, and you do it in a way that you add a personalized touch to each cake. So it's not just a pound cake you're making, right? But you're making these exquisite, well decorated cakes that are gourmet or vegan or whatever it is, right? Or you're making sweet treats for the vegan palate, right? And without the dairy or the sugar, but other things that you're doing that. So your core story isn't just what you do, but why you do it. And are you doing it because you were facing diabetes or your parent died from diabetes, or diabetes is something that's genetic in your family and you're trying to break that curse for yourself and the community? Like your core message is different. Like everybody can do the same thing, but why they do it is what we want to talk about, right? Also going to get you some tech tools uh, where you could go from just using your phone as your number one tool to do your digital legacy, or if you want to do some really high tech level or high level tech tools where you want to build out a whole home studio. I want to help walk you through that. And then also give you some content, right? A whole content. We're going to walk away with 30 days of your content calendar for you and what you do, so that you don't have to guess. You don't have to work hard at trying to create content or work hard at trying to figure out what will you do, what will you talk about, how you going to, like, we'll walk you through all those things. And then finally, I'm going to give you some custom hashtags to support you so that you can rank high in the SEO. And so you can also have engagement and conversation and be able to do great analytics about who's following you and who's engaging with you. All of those things, we're going to spend the day doing so. February 28th. And in advance of that, you can take advantage right now of the early bird special. So I want you to take advantage of it now. Go on shadowintoshine.com. Spend the day with me. It's a really great, juicy price. So it's not, expensive. It's not a course you have to take and pay $800 for it. It's well below that amount. But you get everything you would get if you were to attend a course in this. Like if you were to go online and pay for this course or go to a college and get college credits, you'll get everything you would over 8 weeks or over 6 weeks. You're going to get it in this accelerated day with me. And that's pretty much all. Let me see if you all have said anything. I just want to make sure I'm saying hello to everybody. And I think that's everybody. Oh, I see some new faces. Chris Bates, hello. And Sean Ray, hello to you as well. If you are watching on another platform and I cannot see you, I sincerely apologize. We're going to figure this thing out. How to make sure we can monitor everything that's going on. So, yes, February 28th, Cheryl, is our day that we'll actually go virtual. You also get a lunch delivered to you that day, no matter where you are. So, I am based in Chicago, but no matter where you are, you will have a lunch delivered to you that day. Because we're going to be working, and I want to make sure that you don't have any excuse to move away. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hey, Annette. Is that my pilgrim, Annette? Oh, that's Annette from C2. Hey, my golden GRWC sister. Hey, Annette. Yeah, y'all. So y'all got me crying on here. I am a big crybaby. Everybody who knows me knows that. But I just thank y'all for watching. We've been on here for a long time, an hour and 22 minutes. And some people will say that's too doggone long. But guess what? I ain't some people. So as long as y'all rocking, I'm rolling. And I just appreciate you so much. Share this out if you have not. And go on over to Shadow Into Shine. Go to shadowintoshine.com, shadowintoshine.com, shadowintoshine.com. If you've already done so, say, I did it, I'm coming. Let the people know, share this out and say, I'm going to shadowintoshine.com so other people can get this good thing. Because it don't make sense for us to all be walking around with these stories inside of us and watching everybody else glow up and we just sitting there in the shadows. You're too brilliant for that. You're too brilliant for that. And I want to see you shine. So join me. Y'all take care. Much love on this Black Love holiday. Peace.